So I made another adjustment to my color. I got this color going on. So I have my lightest green trees. I have layer number 2, which came from about here. I'm going to go layer number 3, which is this. It feels kind of close to this one, but I know I already added something different, so it's going to end up being a lot darker. I've made my puddle over here. There's lots of color, a little bit of water, lots of color. I'm scraping my brush just on this rim right here, scraping that so that I have all of the water just towards the edge of my brush. And now, get ready. We're doing the big trees. So you do want to take your time on these, really make them where you want them to be. Now you can see that my light spot in the mountain is over here. I want to leave room for that big tree on the right-hand side. So I need to make sure that this one goes here. I might have moved some trees around in there. It's completely okay. Just leave some space knowing what our last layer is going to be. All right, so I'm going to start with just this tree right about here. And I'm going to go in and make a tree. You might be worried, as I was for just a second there, like, oh no, it looks the same as the one underneath. It's going to be okay. I can always paint a second layer on top if I need to. So I have tree number 1. All right, I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to put in my ground line. Just because I feel like that's going to help me out a little bit. So I'm just doing a wet on dry, making the edge of this pond. It's going to get covered up by a rock over here, but I'm going to pretend that rock isn't there right now and finish it up. So this is that medium dark layer. I'm going to paint in the ground. Maybe I should have started that with that first. I don't know. It's a little experimentation. I do things a little differently every time. All right, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to keep going around the pond. I know there's going to be a big rock in front, so my pond line is going to end right about there. If you want, you can leave this big rock out, or you can paint the whole thing in. It's kind of up to you. I'm just giving myself some ground so I have something to look at, so I kind of know where to put my trees. Gives me a little bit of reassurance. All right, and this part's going to dip down. I'm painting pretty quickly, so everything's going to blend in once it kind of soaks in for a little bit. There we go. When you're doing watercolor, things look crazy for a little while. You're like, oh no, how's it going to turn out? It's going to be a-okay. Just looks kind of crazy for a minute. All right. I got a tree in there already. I don't think I need another one. I'm going to do one little one over here. All I want to do is just create this idea of a forest. So if some of your layers look similar to others, it's okay. I can start to add in some brown. I could even add in a little black if I want, just to make sure it feels darker. Now over here, I had 3 trees kind of towards the center. I want to leave room right here for this little temple sort of thing in the water. I should probably look at what that is. I'll look it up. I'll let you know in the next video. But in the meantime, I'm going to put in a little tree, and these are going to be my reflection trees. So I'm going to suggest 1, 2, 3 trees. Okay, I'm just doing a little quick dab technique. If I had a smaller brush, I could use a smaller brush. I'm kind of just sticking to one in case you just have one. If you got a smaller one, absolutely, feel free to switch it up. I'm going to put some trees over here. Now I know this little structure is going to be really dark. So again, everything that's darker covers up everything that's lighter. It's light to dark. So if you feel like you got a lot going on, don't worry about it. I'm going to get really suggestive on these trees over here and just kind of sketch them out like it's not really detailed, but you get the idea. Why? Because I got another one that's going to go right on top of it. I just want the idea of trees back here, and I don't need to be too concerned with how detailed they are, because something really big is going to cover up most of them. I could put in a few trunks if I want. Which really helps get the feeling of trees. Anytime, just drop one in. I feel like Bob Ross. Happy little trees, happy little trees. Cool. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I might add some dark Do a little bit of quick wash. Or wet on dry. Just fill some of that in. Okay. Now, before we go, we do need to do these reflection trees, all right? They are in there. We are going to wait on the structure to do its reflection, but I do want to do the trees right now. So the first thing I want to do is make sure I have the reflection of this hill so it matches. So this one goes up, this one goes down. Just make that little adjustment. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to quickly do my upside down triangle and get a tree. Please don't worry that your trees need to look exactly the same. We will completely understand because of the context around it that it is a reflection, okay? Just wider, smaller, 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 smaller. And as long as they are right underneath each other, it will feel just like a reflection and you don't need to worry. I can make this one a little taller so he stands out. Do a couple dots on things. That's it.